Hi, welcome to the next instalment of Cookalong Live. So today we're going to make chicken in orange. This is quite a quick, easy recipe. It should take about half an hour to make, hopefully. You might hear my dog kind of scooting around, but just ignore him. So what we're going to start off with is just have chicken. So what to do is just dice the chicken, kind of on your board. Like so. And then once you've diced your chicken, so it should just be like this size, just put it into a bowl, into a large bowl. And as I said last week, when you're dealing with raw meat, just make sure that you wash your hands straight after, just to be on the safe side. So just keep dicing it. It just has to be roughed size, it doesn't have to be exact. And put all that chicken into your bowl. So now you should have a bowl of just your diced chicken. I'm going to wash my hands very quickly and then I'll come back. So now that I've washed my hands, what we're now going to add to the chicken is we're going to add our sesame oil. So on the sesame oil it is 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil and then 2 teaspoons of soy sauce that you put in. So 1 of sesame oil, 2 of soy sauce, and then just mix that in. Once all that's mixed in, the sauces, so the wet ingredients, you're then going to add your garlic granules to the mix, and that is half a teaspoon of garlic granules. So your ones, your packs will be already pre-measured if you've got them from our pantries. What to do is just sprinkle it across the chicken and then give that another quick mix in. When all that kind of sauce and garlic granules is kind of mixing in and getting it kind of nice and covered, what to do is put that into the fridge and cover it and put it into the fridge for about 10 minutes. And then after that, we'll then, during that time of that 10 minutes, you can make your sauce, start preparing stuff for your sauce. And then we'll start coating the chicken and tossing it into the corn flour. So what we'll do is we're going to put this into the fridge and then we'll start prepping our sauce. Okay, so now that we've got our chicken diced in that sauce, what we're going to do now is we're going to prepare the ingredients for the sauce itself. So to do this, we're going to have our orange. So with oranges, kind of make 2 oranges that are in your pack with us, and you're going to use a small grater or just a normal grater if you don't have one. And what you're going to do in a bowl, you're going to just zest one of the oranges. Zesting one of the oranges just means you're grating the outside of the orange, but not, once you get down to the white of the orange, we don't want that because that'll make it sour. So, kind of going around. Going around, yeah, just kind of grating as you go. Zest. Oranges are really high in vitamin C, which is obviously quite good for you. Yeah, just keep going around. Well, it should make up quite a bit of zest actually. This is maybe one for the kids to do. Just keep an eye on them when they're in the graters, because they are quite sharp. And just a spoon. So your zest should look something like this. So it's kind of grated orange peel. So now that's prepped, what you're going to do is you're now going to look at, you're going to get a jug. I'm just going to get one. So we're going to get a jug, and now we're going to put the wet ingredients that will make up the sauce. So in the saucepan or in the jug, you're going to squeeze your orange juice, you're going to put your water, you can put your soy sauce and your rice vinegar, your ginger, your garlic, and that's all going to go into the pan. So it doesn't really matter what order you do this. What I would say is always put the water in first, because then you know the kind of measurement. So the measurement of water is 150. So it's 150 of water, and then you're going to add in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. You might think it's quite a bit of soy sauce, but it is needed for the flavour. So that's the soy sauce in. We're going to juice the oranges as well, but we'll do that in a second once we get all the other packed ingredients in. So this is now the rice vinegar, and what you're going to do with this one is it's just 1 tablespoon. There we go. 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, and then your garlic and ginger. So you'll have garlic and ginger like what you had in the packs last week. What you're kind of wanting to do with the garlic is you kind of want to have 2 cloves, just crushing it and then chopping it. And the ginger, the same, it's kind of that grating, that finely grating ginger. So just use the same graters you use for the orange and just grate it. I'm going to use, just for ease for me, is our ginger and our garlic purees. If you're cooking at home, these are a great alternative to veg, like as in having to actually chop up the veg. It makes it quick and easy to do. So once you've got that, now you're going to start to look at how to do the orange, how to juice the orange. I don't have a juicer, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the orange in half. So you'll see there's two holes at the top and the bottom of the orange. You want to cut it, so I'll show you in the camera. You want to cut it down here. So you see you've got one hole there, one hole there. You want to cut it in the middle. Good tip for here is if you roll the orange, you'll get more juice out of it. That's the same with any citrus fruit that you are kind of cooking with. And then we just half it. When you get to this point, you've got your orange like this, and then you're just squeezing it to get all the juice off. Be careful of any cuts on your fingers, because the juice can be quite sore on it. And you're kind of just squeezing all the orange. Yeah, so just keeping it squeezed. Get all the juice out of that orange. You want all the juice but not the pips. And then the same goes for the one that you zested. Bear in mind, the one that you zested might be slightly harder to hold just because it'll be smooth from the grater. Make sure to squeeze it really hard. The last thing we've got to add to the sauce jug before we start to cook and toss our chicken is our honey. So that'll be what we do after this. So that's our oranges juiced. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our honey. So our honey is 2 tablespoons of honey. Again, this will all be kind of pre-measured as much as we can for you if you've got our packs, so it should be even easier. But if you're doing it at home, it's 2 tablespoons. I like my sauce quite sweet. If you don't want a sweet sauce, you can kind of adjust it to your kind of taste. End of the day, cooking is all about kind of personal preference. So if you want to make it sweeter, add more. If you want to make it less sweet, obviously add less. So now we've got the sauce made up. What we're going to do is we're going to put that to the side just now, and we are going to get our chicken back out, and we're going to start to toss the chicken in corn flour. So let's put this away, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so now we have our chicken out of the fridge. What we're going to do now is we're going to cover it in corn flour and kind of make it into a batter for our air fryer. So how we're going to do that is we get corn flour and we just sprinkle it onto a plate. Now this can be quite messy. I'll just give you a pre-warning. It can be quite a messy thing to do. What I would say is what we're going to do is we're going to kind of toss the chicken into the corn flour, and then you're going to put it into the air fryer. So in our air fryer today we have kind of these linings. These are really handy, A, to help the washing up, but also it allows you just to chuck it in without anything falling down to the ground. So how we're going to do it is we're going to take the chicken, we're going to roll it around the corn flour, making sure that every piece is kind of coated as much as we can. The cornflour should kind of bind to the soy sauce, and then you're going to just pop it onto into your air fryer tray, so straight away. What I would say is when you're putting it onto your air fryer tray, don't double up. So don't put any, lay the chicken out onto your air fryer just in a single layer. If you have it in a double layer, then it can be quite hard for it to cook. So just kind of be careful of that. If you need to do 2 or 3 kind of runs of the air fryer, then you can do that, batches, because you want it as crispy as you can, but you also want to make sure it's cooked. So we're just kind of, you might think it's quite a long process, just kind of doing it, but it does make a really good chicken bits. And this would be the same on any kind of, if you're making chicken nuggets at home for your kids, you could just put diced chicken, some egg, some flour, and then kind of make your batter that way, and then chuck it into the air fryer. Air fryers are the way to go. If you don't have an air fryer, don't worry. What to do is just put it into a baking tray, preheat your oven to about 200 degrees, and then just cook until it's crispy. Alternatively, you can put it into a frying pan as well and fry them off. With the frying pan, it might just not make it as crispy, but yeah, it's still an option there if you would like. So, because there's quite a bit of chicken, I'm going to use 2 trays of the air fryer today. So just putting it all in, tossing it all around, and then dumping it into the air fryer tray. You don't want to overcrowd your air fryer chicken. You just want it to be able to cook all the way around the chicken whilst it's cooking in the air fryer. Similar to if you were doing it in the oven, you don't want your baking tray to be filled to the chicken touching each other in the baking tray, because then you don't get the full crispiness. So kind of think about that when you're tossing and placing your chicken into your trays or your air fryer tray. So just keep doing it all the way until you get no chicken at the end. I mean, you can become lazy and just chuck all the chicken into the cornflour and do it, or do what I'm doing right now and do 2 at a time. You can kind of have a look at your chicken though and see if there's any other space in your trays. That's what I'm kind of doing now, because I feel like this might be a 3 batches I'll have to cook, which is fine because we're going to have plenty of time when the rice is cooking. What I would do is kind of put all your chicken that you've not been able to put into the air fryer tray or into your baking trays, just coat it in the cornflour and let that all bind together whilst your other chicken is in the air fryer cooking. So kind of, it should look something like this. Then I would go and wash your hands, and then after that we'll come back and we'll put it into the air fryer. Okay, so now that we've washed our hands, we're going to put the first batch of chicken into the air fryer. So what we'd say here is that it's kind of 200 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes, depending on kind of what your air fryer can plugs in. What I would say here as well is kind of every air fryer is different, so just kind of judge it as you do. But with every air fryer, still make sure that the chicken is completely cooked. That means it's white and it's hot inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on for at 200 degrees in your air fryer, I should say, for about 10 to 12 minutes. So I think I might put mine in for 12 minutes, and that's all. So whilst the chicken is getting cooked, and we'll put this chicken to the side just now, what we're going to do is we're going to make the rice. So rice similar to what we did last week with the fried rice, Indian fried rice. You're going to do one builder's mug to 2 water of the same mug size. So I'll just go get the mug we're going to use and the rice. Okay, so with the rice, as I said, it's one rice to every 2 water. So we're just going to put the rice in. Just put it straight into your pan. And then that's 1 mug of rice, and then you're going to put 2 of water. So now this is cold water. I'm just going to get some more. Actually. Cold water works best because then you're just going to heat. You're going to heat the water is boiling, then take it off the heat, and then just let the kind of steam cook the rest of the rice. So that's all the water we need. Then we're going to put it on and just put it into a medium heat until we bring to a boil, and then we'll take it off the heat and let it kind of cook through. So that is your rice on. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at when we're going to make the sauce. So we're going to put into a saucepan your sauce that you made earlier. So all your soy sauce, your honey, your garlic, your ginger, your rice vinegar, your orange juice, and your water. You're going to put that into your saucepan, and you're going to add your orange zest as well. So put that into a medium heat as well. So let's go. Then put your zest in. What I would do is I would just check to see if there's anything left at the bottom. Just make sure all that sauce is in there. Alright, and you kind of want to make it sure it's like boiling away until it reduces the heat. It reduces. Alright, so So now what you've got is you've got your air fryer on, cooking your chicken, along with your sauce kind of boiling away, or coming up to a boil and then reducing, and then you've got your rice cooking as well. So you've kind of got all 3 things, components of your meal kind of cooking away. If you want, when you're doing your chicken, halfway through, so we're at about 7 minutes, you can kind of open up your chicken and add some oil onto it. It just makes it slightly crispier. Again. So you can put that in. You might see on the camera now that it's kind of starting to boil away and it's starting to smell really good. So just kind of keep it at that small simmer. You kind of want it to simmer away. When we've kind of got this going, your sauce is boiling away, your rice is starting to heat up, and your chicken is on. You kind of want to make a cornflour slurry. Cornflour slurry is basically just water and cornflour. And how you kind of do this is you have 4 tablespoons of cornflour to 4 teaspoons of cornflour, to 4 teaspoons of water. So it's a 50-50 mix. So that's the water. And then we're just going to add the corn flour. So 2, 4. And then what you're going to do, I'm just going to make a slurry. The slurry helps with kind of making the sauce a bit thicker, so when it goes over, you'll see that it does kind of, it's quite hard to mix in at start, but if you just keep mixing, it will get easier. Yeah, so just keep mixing it in until you've got kind of a paste, a smooth paste. That's kind of what we want. So, kind of got that corn flour paste there now. We've got 5 minutes left in our chicken. Our sauce is kind of boiling away, which is really good. And then kind of what you want is you kind of want the bubbles to be quite ferociously boiling away to start off with, and then kind of reduce it further on. Whilst you're waiting for all this is probably the best time to clean up. I always find that if you clean up now, then it means you've got less to clean up at the end. So that's what I'm about to do, and I'll come back in about 4 minutes when the air fryer is finished. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got our rice kind of boiling away. So we want to maybe take that off the heat now. Wait until it's absorbed a kind of like a half of the water to the rice, and then take it off the heat. And then it means it'll be nice and fluffy for when we plan to serve it. The sauce is kind of simmering away. And then our air fryer chicken is about done. So what we're going to do is with the rice, now that it's kind of boiling, we're going to put the lid on, and then you're just going to turn the heat off. So that's now not got any heat going into it, but it still is going to cook. Now our air fryer is just finished. What you would want to do is pick the biggest part of the chicken, or the biggest piece of chicken that you've got in your air fryer. Open it up, and then if it's white inside, then you know it's cooked. So, yeah, that's cooked. So you just want to put it in, put that all in there. You'll see some of the corn flour is still kind of coating the chicken. That's completely fine. It's only going to get put into the sauce anyway. And then when it gets put into the sauce, that corn flour will go away. So it's all good. Right, so remember from earlier how we had some chicken left over? What we're going to do is we're going to put the remaining chicken into the air fryer. So we're using all the chicken up. So just put it into one for 15 minutes. Just put it all into it. Again, making sure it's not layered up. Alternatively, if you are using an oven or something, you could just use another baking tray and put it into at the same time as your other chicken. Doesn't all have to be on the one tray. So just do that. And then that is your chicken all in. Just go. Do that. So that's your last bit of your chicken done. Whilst that chicken is getting cooked, and your rice is kind of cooking away as well, we want to talk about the sauce. So your sauce is now boiling. It's reduced slightly, what you're going to do now is you kind of, with that slurry you made with your corn flour, is you want to kind of add a little bit into the sauce that you've made up, just to kind of make it glossy and thick. So just mix it in again because corn flour can get quite lumpy. Along with your sweetener. So you can, this is an optional, I add sweetener just because I quite like sweet dishes. If you don't like sweet dishes, you don't have to add the sweetener in at all. But for me, you just want to kind of sprinkle the sweetener around the pan. This just allows it, it's kind of your own personal taste, really. And then we'll add a little bit of this in as well. So we've added a little bit in of corn flour. You can always add more, you can't take out. So with that, I would say kind of don't add too much corn flour into it because you can't take it out. You'll see the sauce will start to thicken up quite quickly. That is what the corn flour does. That's completely normal, and actually you kind of want it to be a thick sauce, orange kind of liquid. So you just want to keep stirring it in. Corn flour. Don't worry so much about your chicken getting cold. With all the sauce that's going to get put onto it, on top of it, along with your rice, your chicken will not be cold when you serve it. So again, you kind of want to maybe even take that off the heat now. I'll kind of show you the texture. Don't worry, it's just the induction. But you kind of, it's kind of liquidy and kind of thick. I'll just put this back on. Stop the beef pan. And you kind of want to maybe boil it slightly, a little bit more, just bring it up to the heat again so it's kind of, you see the bubbles boiling. We've got about 10 minutes left in the air fryer of your third batch. If you've done that. If you've been able to cook all your chicken, your kind of focus now is really just the sauce. Once the sauce is done and kind of thick, then you're ready to serve. So what to do is, I'm going to wait until the air fryer batch is cooked. Batch 3 is cooked, and then I'll come back and we'll do some serving of it. So now that our chicken is nearly done, our sauce is getting thicker. And our rice should be nearly cooked. I'm not opening the rice for a couple of minutes just because the steam is there to kind of cooking the rice right through. Whilst we're waiting, I've got a couple of facts about oranges. Like I said before, oranges have a brilliant vitamin C, fibre, potassium, phosphorus and vitamin B in it. There's 600 varieties of oranges around the world. The orange peel can get used as a slug repellent in a lot of gardening practices. And in many cultures, oranges are kind of shown as love and marriage. And the blood orange in Christian culture sometimes gets referred to as death. It takes 40 gallons of water to make one orange. In terms of glasses of water, that's 50 glasses of water. And Brazil is the biggest producer of oranges around the world, then US, Mexico, and then China as well. So it's quite interesting. Oranges are one of my favourite fruits to eat, and there's a lot of health benefits around it. We've got, at the Penny Pit, we have nutritionists on hand if you ever need advice along with our cooking groups that we have running throughout the year. So keep an eye on our socials, that'll tell you when our cooking groups are on. We've got community cooking and family cooking. So we're just going to check the we've just checked the chicken, that's cooking away. I am going to just check the rice because I've left it to cook. So this is always a fail-safe method of cooking rice. This is kind of the rice texture that you kind of want. So always bring it to the boil, reduce it by half, and then take it off the heat, put the lid on, and you're ready to serve. You kind of want to leave it for about 15-20 minutes to kind of absorb all the water and heat through the rice. There are other ways that you can cook rice, which I will just show you. I'll just show you one of them. So at home, I have a rice cooker. So like microwave rice, you put the rice in and it cooks. I would highly recommend this, along with any rice cooker you can get from Amazon. They're really handy to have. We make rice so much in the UK, so anything to make it easier and quicker, I believe, is better. So our chicken has got about 3 minutes left. The rice is cooked. The sauce is, I've just put on our keep warm function on our induction. Hopefully that will cook. That'll be ready. It should be kind of a syrupy texture. That's kind of the only thing that I can really compare it to. It should be quite a thick, syrupy texture. That should be able to get drizzled over the chicken. What you could do is, I'm not going to do this today, but you could make the rice fried rice. To do that, you would just put it into a wok, put oil, egg, then chuck in your rice, and then put some soy sauce in. And if you want, you can add peas and carrots and all the other veg that you would like to put in as well. That's quite an easy fried rice recipe. We use on our school cooking, sometimes we use microwave rice, just chuck it into the pan and then cook through. It's quite a simple, quick way to do it. But if you can cook your rice from scratch, that's even better. Right, our chicken is nearly done. So what you're going to do after the chicken is done in the air fryer and you've got all your chicken out, is you're kind of just going to chuck it into your saucepan, and then you're going to chuck the chicken around. You're going to chuck the chicken around the saucepan, and then it should all be coated, and then you can serve it. So, if you want, you can add sesame seeds on top of it to make it look nice. Again, I'm not doing that today, but yeah, you can. So, we're just waiting for this. What I'll do is I'm going to add the chicken that we've already cooked into the pan. And you're just going to coat it. So, you don't want to kind of break the chicken up, so just slowly mix it into the sauce. And then once you've done that, there were smaller bits of chicken anyway. So what we'll do is we'll just put this in. Like I said earlier, you'll see that there's corn flour on it. The corn flour will just, because we've put the corn flour into the sauce anyway, it'll just cook right through. So, rather than your chicken being quite dry, I'm going to show you what it should look like in a second, sorry. Just mixing it up. So, your chicken should look quite glossy and sticky, and that is kind of what you want your consistency of your chicken to look like. So now we're kind of ready to serve up. We've got our chicken, we have our rice, and obviously we've now got our plate ready to make the dish. So, there's no fancy stuff here. All you're doing, you're putting your rice onto your plate. And then, if you are vegetarian and you obviously don't want to eat chicken, then you can do alternatives like soy-based products. Tofu works just as well, and it is gluten-free. If you use soy sauce, that is gluten-free. All of the rest of the recipe is gluten-free, and it is dairy-free as well. So, kind of we're hopefully catering to a little bit more with the allergens. But this is what it looks like. Your orange chicken with rice. And next week I will be back again to do another recipe for Cookalong Live. Hopefully you can join me then. But let's give it a wee taste quickly. It's really orangey, which is good. You want to be able to taste the orange. Oh. That's really good. Now, I will see you next week on another Cookalong Live with Penny Pit. See you then.